Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is officially out, and this is a movie that is massive in the MCU timeline, and a movie that uh, was kind of disappointing. This video is brought to you by the Magic Candle Company. I'm a huge fan of Disney park smells, but what happens when I'm at home and not at the parks? Can I still smell those smells? Yes! Magic Candle Company brings you the best smells from around the world to your home. From riding a banshee to a Hawaiian lobby, Magic Candle Company has you covered with small and large candles, fragrance oils, wax melts, and more. So head down and hit my link in the description and be sure to use code BIGBEAUTIFULDIZ15 for 15% off your entire order. I've been burning their candles and using their fragrance oils for many years, and I can tell you they are fantastic. Again, head to the link in the description and be sure to use BIGBEAUTIFULDIZ15 for 15% off your entire order. Big thank you to Magic Candle Company, and now on to the video. So, this movie really introduces the Kang variants for the first time, and the Kang variants are massively important to the rest of the MCU going forward because the Kang is the main villain in the rest of the MCU. So we would think that this movie would be... I'm having a tough time explaining what my thoughts were going into the movie. I was expecting a more grand movie, and I didn't really get that at all. But I mean, but then again, it's only one Kang variant that we're seeing in this movie, and that's one of the ones that are weaker. And this variant was banished to the quantum realm, and has taken over the quantum realm. And if he gets out of the quantum realm, then he is going to continue messing up the timeline. It will be good for our heroes, technically, because then the other King variants will decide not to attack. So, I won't give spoilers right away. You know me, I do give spoilers later in the video, but I let you know when that's happening. So the main part of the movie is that, but there's also a second part to the movie where Scott Lang and Cassie Lang, their relationship ever since the blip, and Scott being gone for 5 years and him trying to deal with that. And I love when they do this. I love when they talk about the blip fallout. Marvel talks about it, and like, I really wish they just give us more sometimes. Would have been really cool if this movie centered around that more, because they were talking about like an orphanage of like kids or people that have been affected by the blip, and I thought it would be really cool if that was in danger and for some reason they had to go to the quantum realm to like maybe help them or something. I don't know. I just thought that would have been a cool way to a cooler storyline, instead of the reason them going to the quantum realm is literally because they opened the portal. Because Marvel heroes recently have been really stupid when it comes to like opening portals, like Doctor Strange in No Way Home, and now this. It's just, these people aren't dumb, so how do they keep messing up like that? Like, Spider-Man messing up is understandable because he's a teenager, right? Or he's a young adult. Scott Lang messing up is not that believable because he's Ant-Man. He did help. He fought with Captain America. He did help the Avengers basically help them time travel. Like, Endgame would not have happened if it wasn't for Hulk and Scott Lang. So, it's really unbelievable that he's that dumb to just open up a portal to the quantum realm, or the rest of his family even open up a portal to the quantum realm when they know how dangerous it is. But the quantum realm itself is really cool. Visually, it's stunning. It's really cool. And it was actually the, most of the VFX for the quantum realm was actually done by Lucasfilm. And that's noticeable. Like, very noticeable, because the whole time that they're in the quantum realm, it feels like a Star Wars movie, which I like because I like Star Wars and Marvel, but sometimes it gets a little too sci-fi, and I'm not that big of a sci-fi fan, so I didn't really like that aspect of the movie. Like, when they first get to the quantum realm, and we don't know what's going on, and we don't know who or what anything is in that realm, because we've technically never seen the quantum realm before. So that aspect of sci-fi movies, I hate. I really don't like it when I'm watching a movie and I have no clue what's going on for half of it until it's finally explained what is going on and how Kang got here and what is going to happen and who everyone is. I don't like waiting an hour into the movie to finally get an explanation as to what the plot is. And to make things worse on that end is that the pacing was weird. A lot of movies have had weird pacing recently. And it's strange because when you don't have good pacing, the movie is automatically going to be not good, because it's just it's the timing of everything. It's how quickly we get to our action, and sometimes getting to the action too quickly, like this movie did, in my opinion, it takes away from it, and it definitely took away in this movie because you don't set up the characters right away. But sometimes that's good, you know. A movie with excellent pacing is a movie like Up. And you can look to Up because you have three sections of that movie almost, if you want to look at that. You have three settings. Carl and Ellie were young and they get married, and Ellie's life. And then you have Carl when he's older and they're boating around his house, and then when he actually goes to Paradise Falls. That movie is paced fantastically because you set up the characters before we get to the action. Up would not have been as great as it is if the second Ellie dies, then we're in Paradise Falls. It just wouldn't have worked. And also with this movie, the editing is horrendous. I'm sorry to whoever edited this movie if you're watching, but some of these cuts were downright laughable at how bad they were. I can't remember exactly what scene it was, but I think it was when Hank Pym, the mom, and I forget the Wasp name right now. But when they were at that bar with Bill Murray's character, and then it hard cuts to Scott and Cassie at that, like, village place where they're taken to meet the other warrior characters in the quantum realm. It cut so fast, and it was so weird because they kept cutting back and forth to those characters, and I don't like when they do that, when they cut back and forth to the characters in the first place. But it's really weird when, like, it almost cut off a character's speech. It was so abrupt. And then also at the end when they cut to black, like seconds after Scott was done saying something, it was like, this is just really horribly edited. One character that we haven't seen in Marvel just for some reason is deciding to not right, is Kang. I was not underwhelmed necessarily, I was not overwhelmed, but again, this is a variant that we're seeing of him. We haven't seen the real threat that he imposes because we've seen two weak variants of him. We haven't seen strong ones yet. If Thanos got beaten this easily, that would not have been believable, but because this is a weaker variant that we're seeing, it's more believable than if, you know, he's obviously supposed to be powerful, but he can be beaten because all these variants aren't as strong as the main, it was main 4, but main 3 variants. So I'm going to get into spoiler talk now, because I can't talk about the movie without getting into spoiler talk. So go to the time marker on the screen to avoid them in 3, 2, 1. So, spoilers. I want to talk about MODOK in the spoilers, because some people might not want to hear about that character, because it really wasn't, like, at least I didn't hear about it. MODOK is the most irritating character, and Darren in general, or Daryl, yeah, Darren is the most irritating character in the whole MCU. I hate his character, so I was very disappointed when he turned out to be MODOK and he returned. Just very disappointing character. And I know that MODOK isn't really supposed to be a serious villain, but he's not supposed to be irritating either. And he also looked atrocious. Like, the VFX was really bad. Speaking of VFX, the Quantum Realm is incredible. Like, visually, it's stunning looking. The aliens were really cool too. I really had a lot of fun looking at the different characters and different life forms that we saw in that movie. The warriors with the, I don't know what his name was, but that orange guy, that was like a blob almost. The one, you saw him in the trailer, the one that has like that like head that's like this. That he was cool. So all the creatures I thought were really fun and really cool to look at. I do like sci-fi stuff like that. It's I find it cool. I also just find it great when creative people are creative people. Like, sometimes creative people don't get to be creative in Hollywood and like in movies like that. So I find it really cool and really I'm just really happy when creative people get to be creative. What a concept. So it's revealed that if this Kang variant gets out of the Quantum Realm, then he is going to mess with the timeline. And that means that world will be destroyed, multiverses will be destroyed, and that's the main threat of Kang, right? But the other threat is that is killed or something, then all the Kang variants will come after Ant-Man. And of course, the Kang variant that's in the Quantum Realm, he doesn't get out of the Quantum Realm and he is killed. And this prompts in the end credits scene. Make sure to stay because I won't talk about the second end credit scene, but the first end credit scene is more important than the actual movie. So like, make sure to stay through the entire thing till the very end, because the second post-credit scene is really cool and sets up, and basically sets up Loki Season 2. So, the Kang dying in the Quantum Realm prompts the other Kang variants to decide to attack Earth. And this is obviously leading up to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, because we all know that Kang is obviously going to be the villain in Kang Dynasty. Like, like it's no secret. They're spoiling the main villain in the title of that movie. But so, but yeah, so that leads to the rest of the MCU timeline, basically, where all the Kang variants are going to attack Earth. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the MCU. I think it's going to be really cool, but Marvel is in trouble. And the Marvel writers are in trouble. Because if they are going to get outplayed by DC at some point, and it might happen with Flash even, in June. So, Guardians has to be fantastic, and the rest of the MCU movies especially, not TV shows necessarily, but movies especially have to be fantastic for people like me who are on the edge with Marvel to not abandon ship and stop going to see them. Because I'm this close. Everything that I said bad about the movie can also be backed up with good things. Because, like I said in the spoiler section, but people who didn't want spoilers obviously didn't hear that. I said the creatures in this movie and the aliens and characters that that live in the quantum realm are really cool and are just really fascinating. And I was talking about how they let creative people be creative, and that just really makes me really happy. And it was really cool to see all those aliens and stuff, and it was also cool to know that Lucasfilm worked on that, because, you know, I'm a big Star Wars fan, I'm a big Marvel fan, so put them together. It's just cool to me. It's just a cool thought. And Kang as a villain, to me, I really like Kang. I really like, and I can't wait to see what Jonathan Majors has in store for the rest of this series. And also, I like Ant-Man as a character. He's not my favorite Avenger, but he is cool. I'm gonna read his book because, yeah, his book is real. It's coming out in September. I find it cool when Disney and Marvel and stuff like that do fun stuff like that, because studios don't really do that anymore, and that's a really, like, kind of thing in the 2000s where they would come out with things like that are in movies. They would release it as a real product, and I just find that cool. It's funny. This was the most probably mediocre Marvel movie, but when I saw it, I came out of the theater thinking the exact same way that I thought of Multiverse of Madness when I saw that. Like, this is major in the MCU timeline, but it's also really mediocre, so I'm going to give it the same score. I'm going to give it an 8.8 out of 10. I feel the same with these movies. If you're a Marvel fan, you have to see it, because it really sets up the future of the MCU. And hopefully this review doesn't deter you from going, because I enjoyed it. There were just a lot of downsides. So 8.8 out of 10 for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you think in the comments below. And while you're down there, leave a like and consider subscribing. It would make me a very happy man. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Have a magical day, everybody.